Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Tom Turner.
And I'm Melissa Tyra. Here's what's coming up on the programme today.
Train tickets simplified in Greater Manchester. From this Sunday, there'll be just 2 ticket types on all services within the city region.
I would definitely
Salford Quays
be more inclined to use the train to get into Manchester if things were easier.
Salford Quays annual Lightways event is back this week.
The launch of Greater Manchester Police's drink and drug driving campaign.
Behaviourists and rescue centres are warning against the trend of giving dogs as gifts for Christmas.
We start the show with the sad news that a body has been recovered from Salford Quays this afternoon. Emergency service workers attended the water by Salford Water Sports Centre around lunchtime. Formal identification is yet to take place.
Next, and getting on a train, or at least paying for a ticket, should be easier across Greater Manchester from today.
The dozen or so different ticket and fare types will be replaced by just 2. It's aimed at getting more people onto public transport, as Katie Louise Buxton reports.
I have a train station at the end of my road that I barely use because train tickets and just train transport in Manchester in general is so difficult to use at the minute.
Travelling by train can be confusing in Greater Manchester. With over 96 stations in the city region and lots of ticket types, it's hard to know which to pick.
But it should get simpler this Sunday, as there's only going to be 2 ticket types for all services in Greater Manchester. Anytime and off-peak.
Northern Rail say that 52% of journeys will be cheaper, with an average fare falling by 5.6%, but not everybody's happy. Some people think they should scrap peak times altogether, but for most, it's a welcome change.
I think it's single and any time, which are just so much easier, and it cuts the price in half for returns, and I just think it's so much simpler to understand.
The change is part of Andy Burnham's B Network. The Mayor plans to simplify, improve and integrate public transport within Manchester by 2050. This is just the start. For Quays News, I'm Katie Louise Buxton.
A lecturer in digital sociology has called for better education for young people around media literacy. This is off the back of a study showing that social media algorithms amplify misogynistic content towards teenagers. Elena Tao has more information.
Last year, a study by University College London and the University of Kent found that social media algorithms are amplifying misogynistic content towards teenagers. In the study, they created TikTok accounts pretending to be teenage boys who were looking for guidance on masculinity and loneliness. Scrolling on the For You pages of each account, they found that the videos quickly changed from helpful content to increasing anger and blame towards women. After just 5 days, the amount of this harmful content quadrupled. Dr. Lisa Garwood-Cross is a digital sociologist and spoke about the impact this has on young people.
But yes, it is absolutely that there is a huge concern here about our young women going to be at increased risk of violence because we're creating senses of entitlement, etc., around female bodies and those things. I think it's really important to bear in mind. But also, it's creating harm for young men too, because what it's doing is alienating them from young women by telling them that young women they won't care about you if you're not a top tier guy, or you do this and that. Like, actually, that there's harm there too for them.
The answer to this issue is for social media platforms to regulate the content they show. However, this is easier said than done.
Regulate social media. We've been trying to regulate social media around eating disorder content for more than a decade. There's a huge amount of work that's gone into trying to, and platforms are doing what they can with that. If I were to search for anything to do with eating disorders on any of the main platforms, they all block it and tell you to go and talk to an eating disorder charity. All of them have that built into their filters.
While this content is hard to regulate, Lisa says the best plan of action is to increase education around social media content and improve media literacy in young people so that they can distinguish harmful content.
Spaces, it's about social media literacy. It's actually about educating young people to look and go, here's how to critically engage in these spaces. What you're seeing isn't always completely accurate. You have to understand that anyone with an opinion can post a TikTok. Doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's a real representation of the world. And instead teach young people the skills to navigate these spaces.
Now, the wrestling ring isn't usually thought of as a place of safety and refuge, but one group in Manchester is trying to change that.
Yes, the Top Rope Wrestling Academy is bringing 5 Manchester gyms together to offer a place to stay for those who need it. Charlotte Martin reports.
From wrestling in the ring to Christmas dinners and care packages, Top Rope Wrestling Academy will be opening on Christmas Day for people who are in need. I spoke to the owner, H. Hadry.
5 gyms across the northwest, so they'll be open throughout Christmas Day for people to come in, have some food, take away some care packages, and we're also going to have one of the local barbers giving some free haircuts and shaves and things.
Over 300 people are sleeping rough in Manchester. The Wrestling Academy are offering more than just food and a warm place. They're looking to create a sense of community and build a support system for people struggling.
But our plan is to ultimately see if we can set up almost like a working soup kitchen. And what I mean by that is people can be, especially homeless people, can tend to be a little bit reluctant just by attending somewhere to get free things. So I think my plan is to set up an actual wrestling class or self-defence for some of the more vulnerable people. So when they come in to have some food or take away care packages, they're also learning a skill as well.
H talked to me about what motivated him to set up this initiative.
When I sort of first set up the wrestling schools, I was really worried. I was like, oh my gosh, is anybody actually going to turn up? Like, who wants to learn wrestling? Do you know what I mean? I had no idea. And I struggled a little bit growing up myself. But I always thought going somewhere like to a club or a gym was more welcoming than knocking on a youth centre or a charity's door for help. And I just thought if we can make it accessible to a place of where there's sports or activity taking place, people wouldn't be as shy to come in through the doors, or they won't be getting judged when they leave.
Charlotte Martin, Quays News.
As we approach the festive season, crime on the roads tends to skyrocket, specifically drink and drug related offences.
Sarah Altaf's keen on following Greater Manchester's seasonal campaign to combat the issue.
With more parties and celebrations at this time of year, police say the risk of collisions increases, majority of these due to drink and drug driving.
Greater Manchester Police have launched Operation Limit, a campaign running through the festive season to combat drink and drug driving.
I spoke to Michael Parker, Chief Inspector for the Safety Transport Team, Greater Manchester Police.
Last year in Greater Manchester, as part of Operation Limit, we arrested 570 drink or drug drivers during that 1 month by concentrating on efforts. And it's really, really important because as I say to my staff, it's not just around arresting people. By every person who my staff are arresting, it's potentially saving a life, because it's absolutely unacceptable to drive on the roads whilst impaired.
Police are urging people to plan their journey home, book a taxi, use public transport or choose a designated driver, but don't get behind the wheel if you've been drinking.
Are you risk losing your livelihood and potentially your liberty, because there's a good chance you could go to prison for this offence? But more importantly, would you want the death of someone on your conscience for the rest of your life? And I think that's the key message.
Last year's campaign led to more than 500 arrests in Greater Manchester. Officers carried out over 1,700 breath tests and more than 200 drug wipes.
Quite sadly, the statistics show that driving under the influence does form quite a large part of the cause of some of the serious injury collisions and the fatal collisions that occur. And that's not just on Greater Manchester's roads, that's nationwide. So on a normal day-to-day business, that is something that my officers are very keen enforce and to identify, but particularly during the Christmas period, it basically means that we will be putting out more patrols out on the road, specifically targeting those individuals. That will be by way of ensuring that those officers are given more opportunity to take part in coordinated operations and coordinated approaches throughout all 10 boroughs of Greater Manchester.
Operation Limit will be running until New Year's Day. To report drink and drug driving, contact police via 101 and in emergency 999. Don't drink and drive and keep Manchester safe.
Zara Altaf, Quays News.
Antisocial behaviour has been causing fear and worry across parts of Salford in recent months, especially in Castle Irwell.
Our reporter Sam West was in the area earlier today.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, I'm here in Castle Irwell, where residents are reportedly living in fear and worry amid the rapid rise of antisocial behaviour in the area. These worries and frustrations were voiced at a council meeting that was called to discuss a potential new 4-bed HMO in the area. Over 240 people objected to that new HMO, saying it would disrupt the peacefulness and cause a security problem in the estate. Residents are reportedly doing everything they can to combat crime, including installing CCTV cameras and other security measures to try and deter criminals. We've heard many reports that antisocial behaviour is causing problems for residents in Salford. It seems those worries are peaking here for the residents in Castle Irwell.
Thank you, Sam. The government and environmental activists are encouraging people to scrap the car and short journeys and cycle instead. But road cycling accidents are still all too common and many people don't feel safe.
Figures show that whilst most accidents happen in the summer, that's because most cyclists don't feel safe on the roads in winter. Alice Cross has more.
Roads in the UK are incredibly unsafe for cyclists, with many people opting to use their car for short journeys. The Walk, Wheel and Cycle Trust aims to create more off-road cycleways so that people can make connecting journeys without having to use the road too much. I went to Duke's Drive in Monton, where one of these pathways is already in place.
The importance of these pathways is obvious, but for many cyclists reaching their destination, they still have to use the roads, which are widely unsafe for most cyclists.
Every year, around 100 cyclists die on UK roads, with 58% of these fatalities occurring on rural roads and junctions appearing to be the most dangerous for cyclists. These accidents are more likely to occur in the summer months, when more people opt to travel by bike rather than car during the nicer weather. These statistics show us that there is much more that needs to be done to ensure the safety of British cyclists. I reached out to Cycling UK, who said the best way to reduce accidents is to ensure both cyclists and drivers understand changes to the highway code.
I'm not very confident cycling, to be honest, on the main road or on very busy roads, so I do tend to stick to the pavements a lot, which is not allowed, but you can get away with it if you just go on quickly. But
although the government encouraged cycling, many motorists express frustration towards them, especially in instances where they don't seem to follow the highway code.
They kind of have their own set of rules. Like some of them, not all of them, but I think as a driver it can be frustrating. Especially when they just don't do what they're meant to do on the road. Do you know what? When they're on the pavement, they go on the other side of the road, they just kind of swerve in and out of people.
Motorists, when they pull up to a junction before going on a main road, they will go over the cycle lane. And then they'll see me coming, and then they'll have to slowly reverse back, and it's really awkward. So it's they do respect it in terms of they will take the common decency to reverse back and not just sit there, but they don't look, they just straight away pull out.
Quays News.
Do you cycle, Tom?
I do. It may surprise some people that I'm able to ride a bike, but I used to cycle to work every day. But I'm from a rural area, so it's all country roads. But I can't think of anything worse than cycling on these dangerous Manchester streets.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Anyways, as we enter Christmas, many families in Salford are struggling to make ends meet due to rising food costs. Langworthy Cornerstone is offering Christmas dinner for those struggling. Our reporter Mohammed Issa has more.
Struggling to make ends meet, Longworthy Cornerstone is offering Christmas dinner. This event brings together Salford residents who are unable to afford basic food. Andy runs the event.
At the same time, it's a an opportunity. It's only £10 for the meal. and that may well save them having to pay out for all the ingredients separately on their own. A lot of the people here live on their own, so they may not bother to do anything for themselves on Christmas Day. So this gives them an opportunity to sort of have a mini Christmas in a social setting.
Each year there's a lot of families struggle to make ends meet to put on Christmas dinner, and Longworthy Cornerstone this organised that event, bringing people together, community together to enjoy some food.
Today's event say due to living costs and rising food prices, they can't afford putting food on a table this Christmas, and Non-Worthy Cornerstone is bringing people together in a social environment.
Yeah, that brings people together. Yeah, and it's been a nice, like I said, like people now will use this food and this will be their main meal for the day. So, but then it's if they can, a lot of people still can't afford how much it is.
Mohammed Issy, Quays News.
Next tonight, and the charity warning about an increase in unwanted pets. The RSPCA say that 1,089 animals were abandoned last Christmas.
With the festive period approaching, behaviourists and rescue centres are warning against the trend of giving dogs as gifts. Isabel Grady went to find out more.
Every Christmas, puppies are bought as surprise presents, but animal welfare organisations warn it's a decision that can lead to long-term problems. Many dogs given as gifts end up in rescue centres within months, often because families weren't prepared for the responsibility. Today we're hearing from owners, experts and the RSPCA about why dogs should never be Christmas presents. Across Greater Manchester, behaviourists and rescues say they see a spike in unwanted dogs after the holidays, many given up because families weren't prepared.
It is quite a big commitment, to be fair, especially this day and age with people struggling with paying bills and whatnot. So before you can get a dog, you do need to make sure you can afford them, because you don't want them to go back to the kennel because, you know, it was a last minute whim kind of thing. You've got to remember they need exercise, they need to be out and about. You've got to walk them, you've got to feed them 2-3 times a day. You've got the little treats to keep them happy, keep them their mind working.
This is Bluey. Whilst his previous owner wishes to remain anonymous, she told me his story. Blue was gifted as a Christmas present from the owner's boyfriend, but unfortunately had to be surrendered within 6 months after Christmas due to the underestimation of the care a puppy needs. Fortunately for Bluey, he has a new life and even has his own passport now. Experts say Christmas is one of the worst times to bring a puppy home, with noise, visitors and disrupted routines causing stress and confusion.
The biggest challenge is not knowing what they've been through. So it's understanding and giving them time and space to decompress in a new environment. In the beginning, they're not used to noise and a lot of people, and you'll be advised to let them get used to the house and make them a safe space and everything. And at Christmas, if you've got loads of visitors coming round and all the lights and the music and parcels, you'll just scare them. That the best thing to do at Christmas is still give them their safe space that no one goes into.
Dr. Samantha Gaines, head of the RSPCA's Companion Animals Department, said, "Pets can be an amazing addition to our lives, but we'd never advise anyone to buy an animal for someone else as a gift. Taking on an animal should be really carefully considered by the person who is going to be responsible for them. We're experiencing a rehoming crisis with more animals coming into our care and staying in rescue centres for longer, but fewer people are coming forward to adopt." So as families prepare for Christmas, experts have a simple message. A dog isn't a present. It's a promise of years of care, time and commitment that one shouldn't be made on impulse. Isabel Grady, Quays
Now,
News.
every football fan's eyes will be glued on Washington later. Tonight is the night of the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw, meaning groups will be revealed for the tournament taking place across North America next summer.
The ceremony kicks off in just under an hour at the Kennedy Centre in Washington, DC. Quays News sports correspondent Oliver Spencer is in the studio with more. So Ollie, what can we expect from tonight?
Thanks guys, yeah, it's a big night in the world of football tonight as we'll find out the groups for the 2026 World Cup. The tournament is taking place across June and July in the USA, Canada and Mexico. And as mentioned, it is taking place in Washington, DC tonight, and in classic American fashion, we can expect a big spectacle and some famous faces as well. There'll be live performances before the draw from Andrea Bocelli, Robbie Williams and Nicole Scherzinger. And the draw will be conducted by ex-England and Man United defender Rio Ferdinand, who'll be joined by sporting greats such as Tom Brady and Shaquille O'Neal. After the draw, we'll be serenaded by YMCA, by the village people, to end the ceremony, which is expected to last about 90 minutes in total.
That's one of my favourite songs, actually, and I will have to tune in. What will this mean for England?
So England secured their World Cup qualifying spot by winning all 8 of their games and not even conceding a single goal. They will actually have some restrictions tonight that are worth keeping an eye on because they're a Pot 1 team. So the 3 host nations are also Pot 1 teams, and their groups have already been decided. So that means that England will not be drawn into either Group A, B or D. This also means they won't find out the cities that they're going to be playing in yet, which is something that manager Thomas Tuchel will be keen to learn due to his concerns over his team playing in a new climate.
You cannot play the same football in 45 degrees than in 21 degrees. It's just as easy as that. And we need to adapt. We need to prepare the players as good as possible. We need to adapt to the heat. We need to adapt to cooling systems. I think we have to be prepared to accept difficulties. It will be very difficult. It will be hot. It will be humid. It will be a lot of traveling. It will be a lot of delays. There can be delays with thunderstorms. So I think it's more about the mindset than having a solution to everything.
It's also worth mentioning the other UK nations. Scotland have qualified for the World Cup for the first time since 1998 after a dramatic 4-2 win against Denmark last month. They don't have any restrictions tonight and could be drawn into any group. Wales and Northern Ireland are still within a chance of qualifying as they're both playing in the UEFA playoffs, which are happening in March. They're in the same path, so only one of them would be able to qualify, but they could face each other in the final of that Path A. Wales will have to beat Bosnia and Herzegovina, whilst Northern Ireland will have to get past 4-time winners Italy for that to happen.
Well, thank you, Ollie.
Thank you very much, Ollie. Salford has its winter wonderland back as RHS Glow returns for its 5th year at Bridgewater in Worsley.
Perfect for family, friends or a date night, the self-guided walk turns the daytime garden into a nighttime spectacle of lights, food and attractions.
So what has Glow got in store for us this year? Our reporter Ben Pearson went to find out.
With Christmas right around the corner, the RHS's solution to their quiet part of the gardening calendar is proven to be successful once again.
It's one of the things we do during the winter months when the garden's quieter during the day, to bring in revenue for then the RHS to spend that on the charitable purpose of the RHS. So it's an important revenue stream.
There are plenty of food and drink options across the walk, including marshmallow toasting. How many marshmallows have you sold so far, do you think?
I would say easily upwards of probably 300 sticks, I reckon, and that's over 2 days. So that's here today and yesterday, I reckon.
300 sticks, so that's three marshmallows on each.
3 marshmallows per stick, and it's £5 a pop.
One of these new installations for 2025 is a glow-in-the-dark swing set that, when swung upon, plays a song.
And so that's kind of our main thing, is making sure that everyone's safe. But apart from that, it's really cool. The kids absolutely love it, and so do the grown-ups. So many grown-ups have come up going, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've been on swing in years." So they absolutely love it.
And the RHS continues to be charitable by offering Glow for free to certain youth centres across Salford.
So instead of them going to their usual after-school youth sessions, they're going to get the Salford Youth Service minibus to here and get to come to Glow as like a Christmas sort of treat.
And people are absolutely loving it.
The magic it creates. You can just send yourself wherever you want to be. You can be part of the flowers and the trees and the colour. I just think it's amazing.
This was somewhere we'd like to come and check out. Family visiting, and it was an opportunity to have an early Christmas treat.
I'm hoping to come again maybe in another week or so before it finishes and bring the grandchildren.
It's planning to stay on until the 30th of December, so just before New Year's Eve. If you like what you see, maybe come down with your family or your other half, because these lights are pretty impressive. Ben Pearson, Quays News, Worsley.
So Tom, do you like Christmas lights?
I do like Christmas lights. When I was a kid, where we used to live, my parents used to drive me around all the houses around, and we just used to kind of look at all the houses at Christmas. But it's a very light-themed Quays News today.
Yeah, it is. Because Salford is hosting its annual Lightways Festival this week. Dotted around Media City are 12 light installations and artworks which are interactive and use music and digital technology to encourage members of the public to dance, play and perform. Our reporter Lizzie Hill has more.
Okay, so Lightwaves is a light art festival in Salford Quays and around Media City. It is in its 12th year, which for me is quite amazing.
That's all from us at Quays News for 2025. Have a happy and safe Christmas.
It is hold on a second. We are getting some more breaking news. I'm getting this in my ear. This is live coming to you. A new music group, by all accounts, has come to the Quays. And as I said, this is completely live. I've heard they're ready to sparkle and shine. Rob, roll that VT.
Action.
So why do you want to be in the Nativity this year?
We're hard to impress.
Well, I think it'll be something that can really advance my career, and I want it for my portfolio.
I really like Christmas.
Drink a naughty wink, we'll loosen up alright. Stand back and put your shades on, 'cause I'm about to shine. My blinding light will thrill you, 'cause there's no starlight like mine. Ooh, 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 sparkle and shine. Let us gather round. Sparkle and shine. Let's all make a dancing sound. It's something you won't believe. It's the first time ever Christmas Eve. I've got my light within me and it's coming out for you. I'm dizzy with self-confidence, hope you can feel it too. I'm lighting up the skies tonight, so come on, join the party. Make the moment last all night and keep the sky full starry. Ooh, 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 ooh. Sparkle and shine. Let us gather round. Sparkle and shine. Let's all make a dancing sound. It's something you won't believe. It's the first time ever Christmas Eve.